Hello, hello, hello. I want to welcome you guys to Season 1, Episode 1 of Talk with TURKBISH. That's right. We are finally here at my big debut. I am beyond excited and elated to finally be able to do something that I have loved and have been wanting to do forever. So we are finally here, and I have to give all thanks to God first and foremost. I want to give some more shout outs to Tahj Elliott. That's my bro. He is responsible for my production, my music, and setting up my equipment. So I want to thank you, bro, for that. And you guys can follow him on Instagram, Facebook. He also has a YouTube page out, so you can check that out. I also want to give special thanks to Stevie So Fetch and Rian for being my major inspirations for my show. Without them, there would be no me. So I want to thank you, Stevie So Fetch. Shout out to him with the Him Podcast and Indie Artist Spotlight. And Rian with Rated Ryan. You guys can catch them powered through Anchor as well on Spotify and Apple Music as well. So what you're hearing in the background, you guys, is a snippet of one of my songs that I will be debuting in the future with my first ever music project. I don't know when it's coming out, but I'm taking my time and I am excited for the process, the creation. So be looking forward to that. Yes, I'm coming for my things, you guys, this year. So special thanks to Anchor for distributing my podcast through Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Overcast, and Castbox. With my podcast, we're going to be bringing you discussions and personal commentary on music, entertainment, celebrities, politics, love, health, and happiness. So do you want the tea? Well, simply talk with TURKBISH. Just talk with me.
I spend time and I spend energy and I spend effort and I spend everything I have, every fiber of my being to give people quality.
Alright guys, so as you can see, for those of you who do have Spotify, I just played Nicki Minaj, Here I Am. This is a Nicki Minaj stan podcast, however you want to call it. I do love her. I would do nothing but grace the queen, respect the queen, speak nothing but great things over her because, you know, she gets a bad rep sometimes. And I want to make sure that I bring that to light with my podcast as well. It's not going to always be about Nicki Minaj, but you know I love her that much. I'm going to talk about her. So definitely some of the barbs, I hope that you are listening. I love you guys. The barbs get a bad rep sometime, and they think we're nothing but naggers or like we just stand for the queen all day and do nothing else with our lives. And it's like, you guys need to get out of that mentality because a lot of the barbs are fucking smart. We are fucking smart, like I said, and we go hard for the queen, but we also handle our business. That's one thing that Nicki has always instilled in us is drive, passion, inspiration, go to school, get your education, and that's important. And I want to just tell a little bit about, you know, my experience with Nicki. I met her 3 times, of course. The first time I met her in Greensboro, North Carolina. She was here on tour with Wayne, and this was like right at the crisp of me really researching her artistry, if you could say. I remember my cousin in 2008, he put me on to Nicki. Like, he played her and Gucci Mane around 2007, 2008. And this is when he was like going to college or like getting ready for college and things like that. So I was like really influenced by my cousin. Shout out to my cousin Montreal. I always told him, you know, he's the reason why I love Nicki. But going back to the story, he played Nicki one day with Gucci Mane. I think it was Freak with Lil' Kim, Freaky Girl. And I was like, yo, who is this woman? She is nasty. Like, she is dope. Like, and then I heard Lil' Kim on the track too, but I was like, man, Lil' Kim ain't spitting like this girl is. Like, she's really doing it.
Absolutely.
And I was like, I got to get into her. So I started like researching her more, listening to her. That's when I got into her on MySpace. And, you know, went from there. So when I first met her in Greensboro, North Carolina, it was just an amazing experience. Like, you guys just don't understand. Like, I was really excited. Me and my little sister, I took my little sister and I went with my one of my best friends from the time at UNCG, Victus and Sean, his best friend. So shout out to them as well. We had a great time. This is when Nicki was, dating SB at the time, and none of us knew that. We just thought he was the hype man. Like, backstage, like, she was just so down to earth. Like, my sister was crying, and she was like, she hugged my sister, like, embraced her. And I was like, oh my God, like, this is real. I like this woman. I love her. Like, she's just everything to me. So, with that being said, that was the first time I met her. After then, I was like, yeah, I'm going hard for her. So, I started going hard. I was in college. I just kept, giving her praise. Every time she was going somewhere, I would try to make a way there. I remember me and Victus went to Atlanta one weekend for the Britney Spears concert when Nicki was like opening up for her, and that was amazing. That was like nothing I've ever seen before. It was my first big concert, I want to say, past the one I had in Greensboro. So it was a production, and I was amazed. I was like, yeah, Nicki is my forever lady. I'm gonna always love this woman. That was the second time I met her in Atlanta, and she remembered me from my hair. This is not that time, actually. I'm sorry, but no, she did. This was that time. She was like, "Oh my God, your hair is blonde. I remember you." So yeah, I'm sorry, but that was the second time she met me, and I was like, "Oh my God, she remembered me." And that's the time when I was on Twitter, my original Twitter page that had a lot of followers before it got deactivated, of course. Don't know what happened with that,
son, where'd
but
you find this?
it is what it is. She remembered me, and she followed me around that time, and y'all, I was just so happy. I was just really happy again to see her again finally, and her remembering me. So that even elevated me to really love her and go hard for her. And then the third time was in Charlotte, North Carolina, for the Pink Print tour. I won tickets. I took some friends at the time, because I was a good friend, I took these people to a concert to enjoy and give them an experience of why I love this woman. And that was amazing too. And we waited for like 3 hours after the show to see her, a whole bunch of us, and that's when she took the group picture with us. So I have had so many experiences with this woman, you guys, that it's just humbling. It's amazing. And I hope that any Barb that has never gotten the chance to meet her, I hope that you guys do, because it is very amazing experience. She gives us a pep talk. She always tells us how much she loves and appreciates us, and that's the one thing about artists. Like, a lot of these artists that are manufactured these days, they are manufactured, and they don't care nothing about the fans. Like, these people didn't have to build fan bases from the ground up. They didn't have to put in the work. And that's what is so authentic about my queen. And I just want to let everybody know, if you don't like Nicki Minaj, you might as well turn off the podcast. Actually, don't do that. Keep the podcast on just so we can agree to disagree sometimes. And I'm going to leave my voice messages and voice memos on so that you guys can, tell me your opinions, because I want to play them. I want to hear them so that I can give feedback and go from there. I think that's great to have open discussions. But other than music, growing up, I really loved music. I used to have my father, bring home me a CD every time he would come home from work every weekend. He was working at the post office. He used to work late hours, and he used to get off work and go by and get me a CD that I would want for that week, because music was coming out physically on CDs at that time each week, and I was keeping up with the releases. I knew what was coming out, just like I am today. I'm even more proactive with it today than I was back then, and just learning the art of music over time, I have fell in love with it. Not even just to the point where I wanted to work on my own music, but I love playlists. I love new underground artists. I love mainstream culture, hip hop, Everybody who knows me know that I am a female rap connoisseur. I love female rap. I love the art of a woman rapping and going toe to toe with males. And that's part of the reason why I fell in love with Nicki too. Like when she first came out, she was going toe to toe with these men. And you didn't ever see that. You just always saw women rapping about their pussies in front of men. But Nicki wasn't scared. She got out there and rapped with the best.
You have to be a
she
beast.
rapped for Jay-Z and Kanye. She out-rapped him on a song, for God's sakes, you know? So, I love female rap, but in terms of music, you know, I've always loved music. I was in the choir growing up. Before I left to go to college, I stopped doing it. I stopped really focusing on, like, music, per se. I wanted to go to school for music, but I felt like if I was to do that, I would have to, you know, make sure that I would have to make it a priority to want to be famous or be a celebrity or things like that. I would have had to take it serious, maybe not even go to school. If I was to do school and finish with a music degree, you still have to put in the work. People don't understand that, you know, just having a degree is not going to give you a job, you know. Just because you get a music degree doesn't mean you're going to be a music artist or a music producer. You have to put in the work to get there, and that's just with any job. So I wanted to pick another passion, and everyone in my family had always worked with health, worked at hospitals. They were a nurse. My aunts, they were nurses. So I was always infatuated with that. So I went to school and this is very funny because at UNCG they had a public health program when I was first going there, and they got rid of the program after a certain period of time, I remember, and I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I got kicked out of school around that time, and I just, you know, gave up with school. But then something triggered in me after getting a great job as a public health educator, working at a nonprofit one time. I was like, let me go back and make a difference in the community. And I went back to get my bachelor's of social work, and then I went on now to get my master's, which I will be graduating in May. So I'm excited about that, you guys. So it's been a long time coming. I will have my master's of public health, and this podcast will also be dedicated to some health discussions because there's a lot of different health messages that need to be conveyed, not in terms of just the LGBT community and concerning infectious disease, but just overall quality of health. And that can include mental health, emotional health, physical health, sexual health, whatever. Like, health is important. And I know we talk a lot about mental health because growing up, you know, I was an abused kid, not by family or my, you know, people that were in close proximity to me, but outsiders. And so I had to learn how to overcome those over time. I still battle with demons from back then in my childhood and my teenage years, still to this day, but there's different ways to cope with that, and I also want to bring light to that as well, you guys. So I would definitely be talking about that a lot. We'll be talking about politics. We'll be talking about love. You know, we all want love, like Rihanna said. We all want love. But yeah, I just think all of these topics are important, and I'm going to be talking about entertainment news, of course, like reality TV, celebrities, whatever. Everybody can be on the docket, and I don't want to get sued. So T.S. Madison, if you hear me, and Kaya, if you hear me, with the gag order, whoever own the rights, I'm not trying to steal that from you because y'all own that, of course, but I'm going to use some of y'all phrases time to time. But a lot of people will be on the docket. Nobody is excused from being talked about on my podcast. So this is the end of my first segment. I'm going to play a song for those of you who have Spotify. Of course, you will hear it. If you don't have Spotify, I think it plays like 30 seconds for you and then it comes back. You'll hear my transition back in and we'll get into some other things, okay? Alrighty, I'll see you when you get back.
I'm a bad bitch, fuck the bitch. Bitch get slick, I'ma cut the bitch. I'm a bad bitch, suck some dick. If that bitch gets slick, I'll cut the bitch.
All right, so we are back. We are back. And I want to continue to thank you guys. If you're listening still, thank you for staying and waiting for the next segment. I'm not going to keep you guys too long today, so I'm going to make this one very short today, my very first one. I know that's kind of odd, but I want to make it simple and sweet before we get into the meat and potatoes of my podcast starting next week. We're going to try to do episodes. I have a showrunner who will be, looking at different topics throughout the week to give me to talk about, and I want to shout them out. Mario, Mainstream Mario, you guys can follow him on Twitter as well and Instagram if you would like. He's definitely looking to get into the journalism field, and it's just an honor to work in part with someone who's very dedicated and passionate about the same things as yourself. So he's definitely one of my close friends, and definitely look out for what he will have in store in the future. But I want to just make some things clear about my podcast. So my podcast, I want to make sure, I know I keep saying my podcast, but you guys, this is how I feel. Like, I finally have something I can call my own. I don't have to talk to Twitter anymore. I can talk through a mic, give my opinion, release any feelings that I have at this point. Now, there's nothing stopping me at this point or holding me back to be successful. So I'm very elated once again, but with what I'm doing on my platform, I will also make sure to highlight different artists in the LGBTQ plus community because we are talented. We are very, very talented, and if it wasn't for us, the entertainment industry would not be what it is. And you guys know that. We do your hair, we do your makeup, your outfits. Hell, we're even producing music now. The gays, it's just so amazing to see us finally break into that realm and break those stereotypes. So I want to make sure that I not only use my platform to speak about different daily news, entertainment news, and things of that nature, but give you guys a platform as well because we all gotta help each other out. We all gotta eat out here. We're gonna make sure that we put each other on, and that's what it's all about. I know that I am looked at as kind of controversial with the things that I say, my opinions and my ideas, but they're just that, We're all entitled to that. We all feel how we feel, and you're not less or more than anybody because of your opinion. So, it's just like that saying, everyone has an asshole. And opinions are just like that asshole. We all have one. So what you shit or what I eat don't make you shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's just simple as it is. So like I said, I'm going to give the gays a platform. If you guys have any, things that you want me to promote or to talk about, just let me know. Like I said, I will keep my voice memos open so that I can hear things that you have to say about my show or things that you want me to talk about. Or if you even want me to promote you, I have no issues doing that. I will also play music of some of the indie artists and underground artists as well. I will be doing it all, you guys. So next week we will definitely have more topics. I just wanted to make sure that this first episode was geared towards my listeners, to see who is going to stick it out with me. And we're going to get into the meat and potatoes, like I said, in the coming weeks. We're going to talk about things that we see on TV. I know there's some things I definitely want to talk about. Like, I definitely want to talk about Basketball Wives and Housewives in the coming weeks, because there's a lot of things that I have to say about that. Like, I want to speak about the colorism issue going on with the Basketball Wives franchise. That's something that we shouldn't take lightly. I I know that we have a lot of different people on Twitter who give their opinions about colorism, light skin versus dark skin, things of that nature. And most of those people, they stand for the issue, but they're very ignorant when standing for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't have the information. And I want to be able to talk about that. Like, let's look beyond the color. Like I said, it's more than just color, it's about features. And that's one thing that's sticking out on Basketball Wives has become a big issue. It had already been an issue on social media before, and people were going back and forth. But now that it's coming to the forefront on TV, it's like we have to combat this within our own community so that we can work together, stay a unit as Black people. Don't let this divide us, because there's bigger fish to fry out there, you know? So we're going to definitely talk about that. I want to talk about Housewives. Yes, I definitely want to talk about Housewives because we all know my fave, Nene. She's not there anymore, and the Housewives are struggling to keep up. And there's a lot of things going on with that franchise as well that I want to get into. And I'm definitely inspired by DJ Richie Sky. He is a Housewives connoisseur for all the franchises. You guys check him out on YouTube as well. Like, he is amazing. He's amazing. He's amazing. And he brings the tea. He brings the gossip. He brings the news. He gets it very quick because he makes a video like every day on YouTube. And that's where I look for my information as well, like for some of the things. And I also watch Funky Dineva. If you guys don't get into Funky Dineva's YouTube page, you should, because his opinion and his viewpoint on things, I love it. I really, really do love the way he thinks, and I watch him as well. And he's another person that I'm definitely inspired by. Of course, I'm inspired by the greats of on radio and in TV, like Wendy Williams, Charlemagne, Sway, from Sway in the Morning. These guys have cultivated radio, and become greater than they were when they first started out. And so I know I'm starting out, so I'm looking to them. I'm looking to them to see how I can do the same thing and how I can benefit in this thing. So we're going to talk about those things. And if there's anything else, like I said, that people want to hear and discuss, like, put it on the table, you guys. Just let me know. Slide in my inbox. And I want you guys to check out my official website. It will be coming out very soon. I will drop it at the end of this episode, whenever this episode releases. So just be on the lookout for that as well. My website will include a lot of different things. Like, I'll include entertainment news, updates, things about politics. I will be writing different segments on my website as well. You can check out my photography portfolio. I'll have my resume up there, about me section, and a donation page as well, in case you want to contribute to my future success. And it's all about planting seeds, you guys. We hear that a lot and we don't really think about it, but if you plant a seed and it grows, whatever grows from it is going to be beautiful. You know what I'm saying? So just make sure that we think about that in any of the decisions that we make in life. And I just want to inspire you guys to just keep pushing, to keep moving, and just let you know that you are loved. Thank you for listening to my first ever podcast. It has been amazing creating, and I am only going to be able to get better from this point forward. There's nothing else I can really say. So once again, do you want the tea? Well, let's just simply talk with Turk. Just talk with me.